Christmas came early. Pretty stoked. So over the past several weeks, I've been spending a lot of time getting my garage cleaned and organized, and well, now it's kind of a bit of a mess. But it's okay because I need every single one of these car parts. I mean, look, this is the entire trunk floor, and then over here we've got the entire floor pan. We've got a lot of stuff that we need to put into this car, and I'm really glad that we got these parts in because now, even though there's a shortage, I have a majority of what I need. Unless if you mean space, because I'm kind of lacking on that. But that's okay because now we at least have most of the parts we need. So what I'm going to do is clean this thing up, make some space so that way I can actually work in here, and then hopefully I can start working on chopping up the rear end of this car. You might be wondering why I can't move my welder. Well, because the wheel on it broke. I'm trying to fix that. So it's these wheels here are not actually attached because this bar is a little bit too small. So I don't have a shaft size big enough, so I've got this little dinky tire sitting here, which it'll work fine, but I need to get a bigger bar. So yeah, that's why it's not working, because it's just sitting on a wood block. So for right now, my welding cart just kind of has to stay there. I mean, that's just how it is. Okay, back to moving these boxes. Jeez, these things are heavy. Funny story about this room. It used to be Austin's old bedroom, and now I guess it's just turning into a storage room. Oh, and speaking... Whoops. And speaking of Austin, some of you might not know who he is, but he's my younger brother. He actually joined the military, moved away. He used to be a big part of the channel, and, well, now it's just me. But he's actually in town, so we might be making some videos with him a little bit later, but I gotta finish unloading this Mustang. Ooh, I've been waiting for these. These are important, but we'll do those in a different episode. Definitely not this one. We're not ready to put those in just yet. That'll be for a future day. So those two pieces there have to stay for now because I'm not going to use them. They're partial floor pan replacements, and since now I have an entire floor pan replacement instead of just partials, I don't really need those. Those I kind of bought preemptively, and after looking at them, I wasn't happy with how they looked. So I'm going to end up changing a lot of how this is set up, and we're going to do a full one piece in there so that way it actually looks pretty clean. So, I mean, you know, when you're under it, you don't see like all the little stitches and stuff, which to most people doesn't matter, but to me, it's just like, I mean, shoot, when I built the BMW, I literally cleaned bolts that nobody will ever see. I mean, I don't even see them, but I know they're clean, and that's why I did it, because I have OCD. And I get obsessive about this stuff. So anyway, let's move on to the next thing. Well, at least now I can walk through here. You'll notice too, my brush guard is no longer here because I put it back on my truck because nobody wanted to buy it because it's ugly and it doesn't matter. But now we can actually walk through here, walking through all these areas, and I can maneuver my way around. Look at that. Oh man, look at all that space. So there's a little story with these two guys. I'm gonna have to put you up here for this one because I need to make myself feel a little bit smaller on this one because we kind of messed up. And so the story behind the engine stand and the hoist being here is, well, Chris's engine blew up. Basically, he spun a rod bearing, like, pretty severely. And the crankshaft is toast, okay? I mean, you usually, if it's like a couple thousandths, it's no problem. This was like a quarter of an inch. I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't understand how it was running as smooth as it was, but hey, it happens. Evidently, one of the bearings was too tight. Not sure exactly which one or how it happened, but it happened. So over the last like 4 months, I've been going and helping him kind of put a new engine back together and rebuild it. And we did all that, and we finally got it up and running again. Literally, it was just a couple nights ago. I think I got a clip. I'll put that in here real quick. Yeah, it sounds really good, and it's running really good right now. We're fingers crossed. Hopefully we don't have the same problems we did last time. This time it's all completely forged internals. We're talking crank, rods, pistons, whole 9 yards. I mean, the whole thing was just fully built, but that was just basically trying to make up for previous mistakes. I don't know. We don't have a lot of luck with LS engines around here, so I don't know if I'm going to be building one for the Mustang or if I'm going to be doing a BMW engine or a 2J or an RB or a SR or a Honda. I don't know what we're putting in this Mustang. It's going to be something fun, but I don't know. That's for a different day. But yeah, so we made some mistakes and the engine blew up, and now we've got a new one in it. It's running decent. He's getting a tune, so hopefully soon the Corvette will be good to go, but that's, you know, neither here nor there. The point is, we make mistakes and we own up to them, okay? And that's the key, and then we fix them. So it may have taken like 4 months, but we did get it fixed. So, yeah. And if it blows up again, I'm going to take a trip to the Golden Gate and drive right off that bitch. Not really, but we're a little bit dark around here. So I forgot to mention about my dad's truck. Now, in the last video, we tore it down completely, found some problems with it. Turns out, spun main bearing, not a real big deal. Ended up taking it to the machine shop, and it took about 4 weeks before we got back from them, because they're just swamped right now, and it's the holidays. But basically what they told us is that the engine's fine, they're going to be able to save it. So right now what we're doing is, I'm in the process of ordering parts. I might make a video about that because this is supposed to be a rebuild slash kind of just make it more reliable kind of deal. But yeah, so we're going to be rebuilding that engine as well in the future. So that's some more content to look forward to. But obviously now that we got parts for the Mustang, I'm going to be a little bit busy in here. So hopefully I won't be as distracted and I'll be able to actually work on this thing consistently because, well, lately consistency has been a problem for me because, well, you know, depression, anxiety, OCD, a whole host of other problems. But, you know, that's life. That's what happens. So the key is that I'm in here now. I'm going to work on what I can, and we're just going to keep this ball rolling as best that we can. So, yeah, I'm going to work on cutting up this rear end now. Think. Well, that's not good. And I'm not talking about the rust hole. I'm talking about the gas tank. So, I just realized something very critical, and that's that there's still a gas tank in this thing. I did not realize that, and there actually is fuel in here. It's probably horribly bad, but I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that, because I can't be cutting and welding back here with a gas tank. I definitely am not gonna be reusing this thing, so I don't know, I gotta figure out what you do with old gas tanks. I really don't know. That's a conundrum. So I don't know what it is with the 60s, but back then they used a lot of flatheads. I don't know why they liked them so much. I guess that wasn't so bad. Oh! Holy shit, is there actually gas inside there? So there's definitely no gas, just a dry leaf. So, yeah, I don't know what else I'm gonna do with this thing. I'm gonna have to figure something out because I can't just have that hanging out and then catching fire. Well, that has to go down as one of the easiest gas tank removals I've ever done. They're usually never that easy. Strange. So yep, on these classic Fords, they definitely just chunk a big hole here. And one thing I'm noticing, this would be a perfect space to put a fuel cell. I mean, look, it's square, well, kind of rectangular, but more square than anything. I can just figure out these dimensions, build a brace, and then bam, we got ourselves a fuel cell. Because no matter what, we're going fuel injected, so that gas tank's not going to work anyway. Not without some heavy modification. So this actually could work out really well, minus the giant rust holes, but all that's going to get repaired. So the section that we're replacing replaces all of this, all the way up there, all back here, all this space. This whole thing's getting removed. So to do that, obviously this is not going to just come straight out because this is in the way. The quarter panel's in the way. So we're going to have to remove this whole chunk. We're going to have to remove probably one of the quarter panels, or at least some of it, just to be able to get in there, because otherwise I don't know how else we're going to sneak the floor in, because below here we have frame rails. So we have to be very careful not to cut those. They're right up here, and then we have one over on the side over there. So yeah, what I might end up doing before I do any cutting is running a brace between them just to make sure they're okay. They should be fine because there's really no weight being supported right now, because obviously the suspension's all gone. So yeah, this should be a pretty straight up move, and we'll see what we can do. So I don't know about y'all, but I hate the fact that the sun's going down and it's only like 4:30. This either means that I have to get up really early, which I've done before, but I absolutely hate doing, or I just need to work in the dark. So maybe I just need to invest in some good spotlights or something. I don't know, because it's just so weird, because when the sun goes down, it just feels like, oh, I should be done working on the car, but no. Here I am. It's going to be dark, and I'm going to be cutting and welding and doing all that fun stuff. Oh, boy. But anyway, under here, I'm thinking it's going to be much easier to do the cutting when we can kind of see what we're doing, because if we cut from above down, we could be cutting into the frame rail or whatever else, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try to kind of mark this out, and I'm probably going to end up just taking this out in sections, honestly. I'm going to save any brackets that I can, because a lot of times these aftermarket parts don't come with the brackets, and you always want to keep as much OEM metal as possible because, well, it just tends to be a little bit better. That's just how it works out. So I'm not going to get too comfortable here. I'm going to get to cutting all this stuff up, and yeah, hopefully we can do this. I don't know. This is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so I just got done taking a whole bunch of pictures under here because I wanted to see exactly how the panels are overlapping originally, so that way when we go to zip all these things back together, we kind of have an idea of what it should look like. So, I mean, it's obviously not going to be perfect, but, you know, I just want to have like a ballpark, so that way when I'm piecing them together, I'm not like, does this go above or below that panel? Now I know. So I've got a bunch of pictures. I'm going to hold on to those. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some measurements of the frame, you know, side to side, from the ground up, all that good stuff. Just good to have reference points so when we put it back together, we know it's still good, because I've already verified that everything's straight. So the next thing that I got to do is work on cutting this thing out, but we'll see just how much I get done today. My whole goal for today really is just if I can get any kind of cutting done on this, we'll be doing pretty good. Okay, so I got to show you guys this because I was trying to set this up to do this really cool shot for doing my time lapses. I got this slider, and I think I need a new tripod because it's pretty bad. Let me show you. That's supposed to be level, but it really does not want to hold that thing up. I mean, look, it looks like it just wants to break. I mean, not to mention my tripod is literally missing all of its little feet. It's got like little rubber balls down here. These are meant to be made out of rubber. It's not. It's not. I mean, this thing is pretty crap, but you know, hey, it's worked for me for about 4 years, but I think it's finally hitting its limit, so I'm gonna have to figure something out for that. I knew there was a good reason I had all those cardboard boxes. Okay, so my idea is, I think I could set it up here, and it'll be okay, maybe. We'll see. But the big question is all this extra effort even gonna be worth it? I'm kind of curious, because I haven't used this thing yet, but I think it'll make for a very interesting shot. So you'll have to tell me after the fact if you can tell the difference between what I shoot on this, and if I take a shot without it. So yeah, just let me know. The first cut is always the deepest. Oh shit. So could you tell the difference? Probably, but anyway. So I didn't get nearly as far as I wanted to today, but that's okay because as you can see here, this thing got used up completely. I went through 3 of these discs already, and I am completely out of cutoff wheels. So I can't really do much else without my damn cutoff wheels, so I think that's all I'm going to get done today. But let me show you the progress and give you kind of my thought process here. Okay, so what I've been doing here is basically cutting out these edges so that way I can see where the frame rails are and making sure that I'm not cutting anything underneath there. Ignore that fuel line, it's got no fuel in it, no worries. But yeah, I made a few cuts here because I'm trying to cut the cross members so I can essentially take this piece out and just pull it straight back. Because basically this whole section, if I can get this out, then I should be able to slide the new piece in and over the frame rails. And I just kind of rough cut this. This is pretty bad, but you can see how much flex there is in this chassis. I mean, look, all I did was cut this and look at how far off that is now. So I may need to actually do some like reinforcement in here somewhere. It might be okay, but I've got my measurements. If I need to, I'll put it back into shape. But these quarters are getting replaced, so either way, it doesn't matter. And when I cut them up, when I go take them to the dump to get them recycled, I actually get more money if it's chopped up than if it's just bulk. So it's actually killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So there you go. So everything I'm doing is I'm cutting onto the side of this cross member here, just so that way I can loosen this up and basically cut over on that side there too. So hopefully this whole piece will just come out like that. But we'll see. If I have to cut it up, I'll cut it up. I'm not reusing it, but I'd like to save it if I can, but we'll see. So guys, unfortunately, that's all I'm going to get done on the Mustang today. I know it wasn't much, but you know, it's progress, okay? Sometimes we got to do just a little bit at a time, and we kind of make progress as we go. And luckily, we have a lot of parts to install on this thing, so we got a lot more coming. I got a lot more work to do, and I will be doing it. But again, I'm out of cutoff discs. The store's closed, and well, what are you going to do? Sometimes it's just how it goes. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be sure to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Yeah, it definitely feels good to make some progress. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas. I forgot to mention that because it's almost Christmas, and I completely forgot, which I haven't done any shopping, and tomorrow is the 24th. So, yeah, good thing I don't have a lot of friends.